If you want a happy, healthy relationship after a divorce, after a long-term relationship, there's a huge cleanup that you need to do. And I'm telling you that because happiness and the relationship and happy life is possible. And let's just detach from relationships specifically because sometimes after the breakup, after the divorce, there are people who are run away from relationship, and there are people who will do anything and everything to jump into another relationship. And in reality, a new relationship that you are starting over or starting fresh after divorce, after breakup, can be a happy and harmonious relationship. Also, being in a relationship with someone doesn't guarantee your happiness. So, in this episode, this is part 5, divorce after 30, and I'm talking about gay divorce after 30 for gay men in successful, high demanding careers. And today we're going to talk about what is on the other side. What is on the other side after divorce? Like healing, grieving, we were talking about grief and feelings, but now we have to move on. You gotta move on. And you cannot move on until you address some things. And one thing I would like to address today is the fact that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, and it's very, very prevalent in gay men in careers when they make six figures, when they're like the doctors, the engineers, the lawyers, the entrepreneurs, the providers. And there is a thing as imbalanced relationship. One partner brings more income, more money, more emotional safety, more desire, and another partner just takes and takes or not able to provide. And the crazy part, the part that absolutely doesn't make logical sense, is that you are attracted unconsciously to the guys who are not able to be your equal, who are not able to be your partner. And the happiness on the other side, you have to get honest with yourself because logically, you think that I want a partner who will build a happy life with me, but in practice, you pick the guys who cannot provide what you want, who cannot satisfy your emotional, financial, living situation needs that you actually want. And also, people give up on relationship prematurely. They say, you know what? There are no available men, which we're going to talk about in the next episode. But today, let's figure this out. Because the decision that people make, that gay men make, when it comes to dating an unequal relationship, this is not the curse. This is the way. This is the path to happy life. When you address your unconscious habits, your unconscious patterns. And when I say unconscious patterns, I'm the patterns that you don't think about. That's something that happens on automatically. Something that you don't think about when you message somebody, when you hook up with someone, or after a first, second date, you think, I kind of like him. Then you stop thinking about, but it's actually the same patterns that you had with your ex. It's just a different person. And the number one thing that what is on the other side is understanding your patterns, understanding your automatic thoughts? What is attracting you? And there are many different ways to do so. There are many different approaches. But if you've been to therapy before, in talk therapy before, and it didn't work for you, it's not their fault, okay? Maybe it's just not the right fit, but I have to address this thing. Maybe just addressing your automatic thoughts, like your feelings, your past history. It's not simply enough. I think it's sometimes the pattern lies in your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind. And a lot of things you do unconsciously. You breathe unconsciously. You process food unconsciously because like the brain has to operate your body, right? You drive unconsciously. You write unconsciously. You walk unconsciously. These are automated processes that your brain does. And when it comes to romantic relationships, there are unconscious patterns, something that so bad, something that your conscious mind rejects, but it feels so good at the moment. And then you start negotiating with your higher self. And then you start feeling the gaps like, okay, I want to be needed. I am saying that you need to get clarity what you actually want and what you actually need. So what you actually need in life, not just in relationship, what makes you happy? What makes you fulfilled? And it may not be just relationship. There are plenty of single people who are perfectly happy. I am not advocating for you to be single. This is not what I'm saying. I am saying detach yourself for a second from the relationship and center what you actually need. Let me give you an example. For me, for example, what I actually need a purpose in my life. Not just a partner, not just having sex, not just having intimacy, but I need a purpose. I started my private practice as a hypnotherapist because I need purpose. I went to school to be a therapist, and if you don't know my story, I have master's degree in clinical psychology and I worked as a therapist because purpose, working and doing purposeful work, that is my value. And I also have ADHD and not just purposeful work, but work that has immediate feedback. And therapy has immediate feedback. Hypnotherapy has immediate feedback. This is so transformational when I do my pre-talk with a client and when I do hypnotherapy session. Let's say they came with stress or pain, or after they came after breakup, and after the session you can see the relief, you can see the insights, you can see the transformation, you can see the positive change, the self efficacy. You can see the transformation, and this is immediate feedback, and this is incredibly good for people with ADHD like myself. Relationship, by the way, I did not look for serious relationship until I moved to the United States because I put a goal that I want to move. And back then, I thought if I date somebody, I cannot date and move because if my partner decides not to move, I will leave my partner because my highest priority is to move. Because I don't want to live in unsafe environment, in unsafe country that doesn't fit me anymore. I decided at a time not to date at all. When I moved to the United States, I stabilized the status. I got my paperwork. I got my life in order. The next priority for me is okay, like I am in social services, I'm using my degree, I'm doing youth counseling, I'm doing case management, I'm in behavioral health. I need to date. I want to meet somebody. And my dates were like job interviews, and I'm the fucking employer. So I was dating very actively until I met my husband. And that was my high priority. And when I met my husband, and I was still in social services, and then like it wasn't like necessarily smooth sailing because relationship by itself, like it's not a fairy tale. Like there are two people with their internal system in their mind, internal family system in the mind, and they're creating a system with each other, family system. And there are a lot of conflicts, there are a lot of like clashes and things that needed to be done. And I chose to build an income to bring more money, a lot more money. So I pivoted into tech because at the time it was the fastest way to bring a lot of money to my family and support my family. And when I say a lot of money, when you are in social services, like, yeah, 6 figures, like, sounds like a lot of money. And this is something that is maintainable for for a family of two. And potentially, I wanted to build my family and build my foundation because before you jump into another relationship, before you actually or maybe give up on relationship, identify what do you want? What do you need? And what image of yourself do you have right now? What can you change about yourself right now to make you happy? And dating another person may not be the answer because finding another person, dating another person, it opens another chapter. And that chapter has ups and downs, like everything in life. Expecting that somebody will bring you happiness is not realistic. Expecting that you will be happy when is not realistic. You can be happy now. It is possible. Knowing who you are, knowing what you want, knowing what your desire for the future, this is the key. And one of the keys to happy life is actually actively working on yourself. And one of the ways you can work on yourself is working with your subconscious mind or unconscious mind. And hypnotherapy is one of the evidence-based techniques that can help you with deeper understanding what your patterns, your desires, who you are, especially if you went to therapy before and you have really good therapy. Maybe you didn't have good therapy. But I invite you to actually explore your subconscious beliefs, your patterns, to take an advantage, to take a journey inside who you really are. And hypnosis by itself is such a therapeutic state where I don't know how to describe it really well, but it gives a relaxation, it gives a lot of benefits. I do self hypnosis regularly, at least once a week. And it's a really good reset, and it's a really good tool to bring unconscious something that you're not realizing, your patterns, your something that you keep doing over and over again, your desires, your hidden desires to the surface. And that is a wonderful tool. And hypnosis also works and integrates really well with other therapies. And I do men's coaching on top of hypnosis. And it's when you can develop the skills that you absolutely want and need to build your life to be happy now, not to be happy when something external happens. And yes, we do need external factors to align. I'm not going to tell you and say, hey, like all the positive thoughts, it's all you, yes, I believe in law of attraction, but you also have to take action. You also have to work with your environment. But the first step to your happiness is to stop being so attached to the outcome of when I have a partner, when I have a deal, when I have this, when I live in that certain place, I will be happy. You can start uncovering the patterns, the desires, what you want to be, and what you want to have now. And if you are interested, check the links in my bio, check the links in the description, sorry, for this video, and you can book an appointment with me. You can book exploratory 15-minute appointment with me where I can provide you information how it's done and the next steps. Or you can book a session with me and see if you like that. All right, I need you to do me one solid. If this episode spoke to you, share this with your friends. Share this with somebody who needs to hear this. Maybe another gay man who needs mental health support, who needs advice, who needs inspiration, elevation, maybe somebody who is going through a tough time. Send them my channel, send them this video, and I will be putting out more content about topic on the breakup, divorce, relationship, addiction. And as always, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.